Hello, and welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. I'm Amy Horowitz, Group Vice President for Informatica. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with two incredible leaders who are helping shape the future of data and AI. As part of our Global Power Women feature, we'll be diving into their leadership journeys, challenges they've overcome, and how they're driving innovation and navigating the evolving landscape around AI and data governance. I'm honored today to be joined by Dr. Adita Karkera, Chief Data Officer for Deloitte's Government and Public Services, along with Michelle Boston, Chief Information Officer for Data Management Technology and Enterprise Architecture and Managing Director at Bank of America. So, Michelle, in your experience, how do you navigate and balance between fostering innovation with AI and maintaining, governance and guardrails with risk management?
Yeah, well, we are a financial services institution, so the bar is high, right, on ensuring that we build and deliver innovative capabilities like AI, but we do it with responsible growth in mind. So we have a very mature risk management framework for AI that includes considerations of key risks, things like intellectual property, information security risk for Gen AI, right? The risk of hallucinations. And how do we deal with that? We understand those risks and we build strong controls to mitigate those risks in all of the AI deliveries that we roll out. I think that risk management framework ensures not only we innovate, but we govern and innovate responsibly, and we deliver capabilities like guardrail and monitoring tools. And most importantly, one of the key controls for AI is human in the loop. How do we put a human in the loop, deliver those great capabilities, but make sure at the end of line, we might have taken task or toil away from somebody, but there's ultimately a human involved in making the final decisions on what AI delivers.
Great. Thank you, Michelle. So, Adita, same question to you. In your experience, you're innovating with AI. How do you really balance the innovation with AI while also maintaining guardrails around governance and risk management?
Yeah, thanks, Amy. And I want to echo some of Michelle's comments earlier, hey, having that robust risk management framework is critical. But hey, I also want to take a step back and say, hey, the folks who are leading innovation and being in that innovative leader role, that role comes with a lot of power. But with every role that comes with power comes a great deal of responsibility and risk, right? So I think as leaders, we have to acknowledge that when you're talking about innovation, you have to also acknowledge the risk and the responsibility that comes with it and the power, right? So we have to find out a delicate balance between the power, the risk, and the deployment. And what I've seen be most successful, kind of what Michelle alluded to earlier also, is trying to get collaboration with your governance teams in the early stages, right? Don't go out on your own tangent and forget to collaborate between the innovation teams and the governance teams. The sooner you can get your risk management frameworks in place, the sooner you can have a more robust intake process. I see a lot of organizations start having use case intake without having a really thought of process on how they're going to engage their risk team. That could become a barrier very quickly. So I think kind of keeping an eye out on both sides and having that cross-sector collaboration is so important.
Thank you so much. I'm going to stick with you, Adita, on this next one. So let's talk about cultural change, data literacy. So talk to me about how you promote data literacy in your organization with evolving technologies like AI and generative AI. How are you thinking about preparing your organization for these changes?
Hey, Amy, I'm a firm believer in constant learning forever, and especially at the pace that technology is evolving today. I think we as leaders have the responsibility not only for ourselves to stay abreast with the changes, but also to deploy the right programs and methodologies so that our practitioners and our organization's key players are in the know-how. What we've done internally has been to deploy our data and AI fluency programs. And frankly, we hear about data and AI fluency programs a lot. I'm sure, Michelle, I see you nodding your head. We hear a lot about these programs. But what I've seen successful is where I've been able to deploy programs which are in bite-sized knowledge pieces, because frankly, it's getting harder and harder to have executives or even your middle management step out and take a 5-day literacy program, right? So the more we can embed it as bite-sized programs where they can get into what we call nano learning, which we can get online quickly, kind of take a refresher on a certain course and continue. And then kind of trying to incentivize by adding sort of like a badging program has helped kind of incentivize and embed that into our program so that practitioners feel incentivized to actually deliver on this, And of course, we want to deploy this and have done this across the board, right? Because there are different personas that need different kinds of training for data as well as AI literacy. The executive directors are not going to need the same level of literacy training that maybe the people on the keyboard, right? So kind of figuring out the right personas and kind of creating your competencies and your literacy programs around it is what we're focused on.
Thank you so much. Michelle, same question to you. Data literacy, cultural shift with data. With AI technologies really evolving, generative AI is coming into play, AI is gaining traction. What are you thinking about to prepare Bank of America for this transition?
Yeah, we are very fortunate to have a group called the Academy, which is a group solely dedicated to the continuous training and reskilling of our employees. And, you talked about data and AI, right? We have tracks of work and programming. Think of it like a 101, a 201, a 301, where we have both on-demand training that gets you that badging and that incentive to continuously improve and reskill, because I believe all technologists, just like if you're a doctor, you do continuous education, or you're a CPA, technologists have to continuously train themselves. But it's not just about the technologies we employ. It's about sound data management governance. It's about data quality controls, because we know the data and the AI space, they're kind of two sides of the same coin, right? And the key to delivering great AI is to have a foundation of high quality data. So we've put a lot of investment not only in the on-demand tracks, which have different levels of maturity across governance and technologies, but we also have augmented that with things like technology focus groups. Those technology focus groups bring people together who want to practically apply those skills and learn from each other. It also creates environments where we have sandboxes where they can take what they've learned in online and apply it in a safe setting so that they can hone their craft. Before they ever try to get a job in that capability or in that skill, they've developed the skill. And we also have like specific seminars from the Academy on topics of interest, things like DevCon days or Innovation Summit days, where we bring the technology community together and we learn about the next generation of technology that we need to adopt, how it applies to our business, what are the risks and control considerations. And really across the continuum of that, we're kind of setting the bar for continuous education and training and the practical application of those skills.
Great. Thank you, Michelle, for that answer. So Adita, I'm going to come back to you for a few quick fire questions. Number one, what advice do you have for rising women data leaders?
Hey, my number one advice would be, we need more of you. So, if you are having second thoughts, or if you're rethinking applying for a data leadership job or an AI leadership job, hey, we need you. So don't rethink. It's going to be hard to think of checking every checkbox on that job requirement. Do not let that get to you. Focus on continuing to learn your skills. Go ahead and apply for the job that you want, and continue to embrace continuous learning in this world of uncertainty.
One more, I've got to throw it at you. So what's one big opportunity you see in data and AI in the next year?
I think it's going to be focused around agentic. I think we're just starting to see the tip of the iceberg with agentic AI, and I see the potential is enormous. So the more I'm seeing organizations continue to experiment and kind of take products from prototype to production, I think we're going to start to see more and more efficiencies come out of agentic solutions.
Great. Thank you, Michelle. Quick fire. Number one, what advice do you have for rising women data leaders?
I think the important thing is women are excellent storytellers. I think, and data is all about telling stories with information. So you have to stay technically deep. It's not an either or, it's an imperative. Think about how you're going to continue to up your game in continuous learning, as Adita said. For example, I listen to podcasts every day specific to data and AI, because the environment and the technology is changing so quickly. I use something called the AI Daily Brief. I use the Wall Street Journal to understand industry trends and how those might apply to my work and the headwinds that are coming, not only in the US and internationally. So you have to think bigger than just the job you do. But if you do that and you hone your craft and you continuously learn, you will differentiate yourself in the space and you'll become a leader bigger than just that technical role. So that's probably my biggest recommendation.
All right, last one for you, Michelle. What's one big opportunity you see in the data and AI space in the next year?
Look, I think we're settling in from the hype of everyone's jobs going away to how we will really evolve AI and generative AI as a human-assisted capability. I also think we will move away from like just the single chat GPT interaction or the single summarization or content generation interaction, and to really get the most efficiency for both our clients and our associates and deliver value. We're going to be building composite AI systems. And that means multiple unique agents interacting and orchestrating with each other and with human assist to achieve a business outcome. And that's the most exciting part of the work. And the data and the curation of the data that creates the accuracy that we need for our businesses is going to also be a key part of that development. So the roles may change, but there's still a need for those data experts and those SMEs to create that domain curation of high quality data for use.
Fantastic. As we wrap up, I'd like to thank our Global Data Power Women honorees for sharing their insights today. For more information and stories, please visit cdomagazine.tech. Thank you.